Hey everyone, welcome to YesterKitchen. I'm Jill, and today we are going to talk about my favorite decade and my favorite thing in my favorite decade, and that would be the 1970s cocktail party. And I'm going to talk about a long lost appetizer that I'm really trying to help make a comeback because it's fabulous. I'm talking about the Canape. And because it's so wonderful, I gave you 3 recipes, and I talked quite a bit, which made it way too long of a video. So what I did was I broke it up into 3 parts. Part 1 is gonna have all the history along with the recipe. Part 2 and 3 are gonna have recipes. So if you're watching part 2 or 3 right now, go back and watch part 1 as well, and you'll get the history of this glorious appetizer, and you'll wanna make it yourself. And now, the classic among classics, the Canape. Ever versatile, ever wonderful, ever loving. Enjoy. Okay, we are on our last recipe, but before I make it, cheers to all of us, and cheers to the 70s. Man, it was a good time. The 70s, we didn't have internet. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't even, texting, what's that? Pagers maybe were like some little thing coming of age, and that's about it. So, as I once heard many years ago, go out and don't experience virtual reality. Experience actual reality. You know, one-on-one, real. I love it. Have a party and do canapes. So this last canape is, you can make it whatever you want. It's essentially a bread base with a flavored butter, and then we're gonna garnish it with all kinds of fun things. And you can just let your imagination run wild. So what we're gonna do, it's super easy. We have 1/3 cup of softened butter, and I've already stirred it around for you. And all we're gonna do for this one, this particular one is caper butter, but you can use basil, tarragon, you can make it curry flavored with 1/4 teaspoon of curry powder. You can add any kind of pepper powders, or hot peppers. You can add, I made some notes on some ideas, so let me write them down. Watercress, dill, chives. They're anything. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your third of a cup of butter, mix it up, and you're gonna add about 1.5 tablespoons of chopped really fine, capers. Capers just give you, I just like capers because it really gives you that real salty deliciousness. Now what the butter does is it kind of acts as a barrier between the bread and what you're putting on top to kind of prevent it from getting soggy. So here we have our caper butter. And now I'm gonna take this away for a second and come back to our crusted bread. There's our little bread. And here's our little cookie cutter. I have a round one. You can use any shape you want, but it's classic. So what we're gonna do is so you don't really have to take the crust off of these, but I have a lot already ready to go because you're just gonna cut shapes out. So you're gonna take your cookie cutter and pop out a cute little circle of bread. And let's see, I think I can do one more. Yep. So we've got that, and I'm just gonna give you a couple examples. I have with me, I'll show you here. I have some red caviar, which is salmon eggs. And now everything else that's sliced is sliced super thin. If it's chopped super fine. You wanna make it easy to eat. You don't want things to spill off while people are eating, because remember, they've got that drink in their other hand. I have sliced radishes. I have sliced black olives. You can also see it in the camera. And those little cornichons that I put in the pinwheels, I have them sliced here. And I have some garlic stuffed olives here, but pimento stuffed was very popular in the day. I also have sliced hard-boiled eggs. And I have some very finely chopped parsley. So let's go over here. Let's make some canapes. And for you artists out there, this should be your wheelhouse. So we're gonna take just the tiniest bit of butter and spread it on that little piece of circle bread. And we're gonna do one more and spread that on top. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna make 2 more very quickly because I got a lot of toppings here. Okay. So these are our reserves just in case. So now all you really want to do is just go ahead and, uh-oh, I'm spilling. I'm gonna put a little caviar on top of one, and check this out, put a little parsley around the edges because 70s presentation, color, beautifulness. Look at that, 2 seconds, maybe? Okay, so the other one, I don't know, let's put a couple radishes on and kind of alternate with the black olive. And just seriously, let your imagination just go because more olive in there. Oh, and then maybe like put a little cornichon in the middle. So you get the idea? It's almost like you're painting a canvas and then you're putting stuff on top. They're amazing, they're delicious. Change up the butter, change up the toppings. I'll give you a lot of variations in the description. And one more thing I wanted to talk to you about, because you've got to have background music at any good cocktail party. And back in the 70s, the music was fabulous. I just have memories of hearing the songs and hearing them being played on the record player. But 2 of my favorites I will give you for any classic cocktail party. One is Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, and they do a song called Taste of Honey. Actually, any Herb Alpert song is wonderful, but Taste of Honey exemplifies the 70s. And so does a band called Sergio Mendes and Brazil 66, and they have a song called Mas Que Nada. Both of those are some of my all-time favorites, and every time I hear them, I go right back to the 70s. As a matter of fact, when I was prepping this whole show, I was just listening to Herb Alpert and Sergio Mendes. They're glorious. So I think, you gotta put everything together. Hang on. I'm not gonna leave you hanging. Here's our beautiful plate. And I'm not gonna just keep going, so I'm just gonna put these 2 up there. But keep going, make everyone different. Invite people over, have a cocktail, have friends over, have conversation, play the music, and explore the taste of the 70s. I am trying to bring cocktail parties back, and I'm starting with the canapés because they're just not made anymore, and they should be. They're perfect for cocktail parties. So as always, thank you for stopping by. I'm Jill, this is YesterKitchen. Here's to the 70s. And remember, history has never tasted so good.